This is where family enterprises get it right. Welcome to the Haven. The first piece you're going to notice is this wonderful piece here. This piece of the crooked head, I call it. This is the crooked head. So many families that come here to journey with us and work with us, their heads are a little off. They're not totally centered in what they want. So here you come in, you're not quite sure what to expect. You need to solve issues, challenges, think about your legacy, and you might not be totally centered yet. So what we do is you'll see this beautiful art panel right here. This was designed by Kitengela Glass by Anselm, and it's getting you prepared to evolve and transform. So when you look at the bubbles and the shapes at the bottom, they start growing and they start spanning out and they go into infinity, into the horizon. And from that, we journey together into this beautiful space, this sanctuary that we have called Haven. Welcome to Haven. One of the beautiful pieces you first notice when you come into the Haven is a very special collection of 3 gorgeous watercolors done by an artist who's now lives in the UK. She's in her mid-80s, and she is the mother of Darshana Raj. And you'll see Ganesh here. See if you can find Ganesh. Okay, so you'll see Ganesh in this watercolor. You'll see Ganesh here looking left. You'll see Ganesh here looking in the center, and you'll see Ganesh looking to the right. And this reminds our families as you enter the Haven that you're protected, and as you're coming to do your work, you have to remember the past, your history, your legacy of what brought you here today. Ganesh is saying we're focused on the present and the decisions we make today. And those decisions that we're making today will inform what the future looks like, right? So every decision shapes every other generation. So take care as you come into the Haven and know the power of the work that's going to be done. So the past informing the present informing the future, the 3 views of Ganesh. The Haven is a welcoming space for families of all different cultures and all different religious perspectives. So you'll notice here in this corner, there's this lovely carving of the Islamic prayer of protection. So welcoming our families of Islamic faith. Also here we have a very interesting basket, which I love because it reminds us that we are woven together in what we do, but we're unfinished. So if you look at these pieces, we're not finished yet. We have much more weaving to do, and we weave and blend our different textures and our different ideas and our different thoughts. So when you settle into this corner, you see that we are protected in this space, we're welcomed in this space, and we're also unfinished in the work to be done. This is one of the very first pieces that I fell in love with. This is done by an artist, a Kenyan artist, very well known, Darshana Raj. And if you look at this is a fascinating piece. Okay, it came from her private collection. And it focuses you and centers you. So as families together, we have to be aligned in our vision, our mission, and our core values. So really a centrifuge of bringing us together. But in this piece, you'll notice something fascinating. Each piece is different. No 2 pieces are the same, just like no 2 family members are the same, but they're bound together. They're tied together by something that holds us together, and we're woven together is what we are. Also very interesting, these pieces aren't stained, okay? So these pieces have been burnt So as you look at the very tops, the outer edge, these wood pieces are very hard, like we are when we're learning, we're growing, we're maturing, and we haven't been really fired by the challenges of life. But as we continue on our journey, we soften. We soften because we've been softened by the challenges of our life. So when we get to the end of our life, we have really softened in our understanding. So we're bound together, we're tied together, but we're unique individuals. The other thing is, if you look at this piece, it actually only sits, this whole piece sits on 5 points. And I look at those 5 points as your core values. As a family, what are your strong core values that hold you up, that hold you together, that you all believe in? So these 5 points here. And with families, we can turn this around and we can look from all sides, all angles, and see the differences as we come together. So I love having families come in here, look at this beautiful sculpture and say, what is the meaning? What is the representation to your family? So it is a gorgeous piece here at the Haven. This is another wonderful custom design by Anselm from Kitengela Glass. And one of the things about this that was really important, I wanted our families to come into the space and think about listening. And so as we thought about the perfect chandelier for this, I imagined old-fashioned hearing megaphones that you could typically put on your ears so you could bridge and listen. So if you look at these trumpet flowers, it reminds you to open your ears, listen, hear what others have to say, be curious, and ask questions. So again, as you come in, you think about, wow, what do I need to hear? What do I need to absorb? So another beautiful piece. This is a marker from an elder's resting site. And it reminds us, this was washed ashore on the coast by Mombasa and collected. But it reminds us that our elders are always here watching over us in spirit. So they might be past, but they're not forgotten and they're not far gone. And they're listening and they're hoping that the decisions you make continue to flourish the legacies that they started. And this Christ vase I found here in Kenya, the sorrowful Christ. And what it reminded me of is when our families come in here, there's a lot of pain many times, there's a lot of disagreement, but how can we listen to one another? How can we forgive one another? How can we be patient with one another? And how can we find our voice and be heard and know that we're comforted in this space? So part of why I chose this Christian symbol is I wanted it to be comforting. How do we become comforted by one another in this very special space? I'd like to introduce you to one of our newest art pieces. This was a gift from one of our families, and I call it Evolve. And it's very special because if you look, it swoops up, continually growing, changing, reshaping. I love this ball here. It's like we're birthing new ideas, new opportunities, new ventures with our families. If you look, this is done and carved out of a single piece of mahogany. And if you turn it around, you see that it's birthing another opportunity. I call it, it's birthing another baby here, another baby opportunity. It's continuously sweeping and evolving, and I'm sure as it continues to reach, each generation will add to what the past generations have done and evolve something new. The other really interesting thing about this piece is the little steel pieces that have been hammered onto this piece. And what this reminds us is of the strength that we are as family members together, the strength of the collective whole. So even though we're birthing individual new ideas, we're evolving and transforming, there is the strength that binds us together. So this we call evolve. Come evolve your family with us. We have 2 family members carrying one younger family member. One younger family member looks like he's enjoying a musical instrument, and the 2 are carrying. And it reminds us that sometimes some family members carry a heavier load. Some family members have a little bit more of a joyous time, but we're there supporting one another. Our roles change, they grow, and they transform. So understanding that we all are important, regardless of what we're doing at that point in time in our life, we're all together. Welcome to the sitting room. This is a very unique space because it's multi-transformational. We can take this space and have quiet, comfortable conversations, intimate conversations. We can remove the furniture and transform it into a big space where we can have more of a boardroom style and accommodate up to 16 people in a great conversation. There are also unique features in here. So one of the things that you'll see here is this table and this ostrich egg lamp. Again, reminding us that we're always birthing something new. We're always creating and evolving. If you look at this painting, it's actually not a painting. It's actually a collage. If you get a really close, intricate look at it, it's a bunch of little pieces of paper that have been collaged together. And that's how we come together as families. Many different thoughts and ideas pulling us together. And you can see the boba trees right here. You can see a family of elephants here, a family of giraffes here. You'll find a lot of clusters at the Haven, family clusters. So for example, our clusters of giraffes right here. The other thing unique in this space is you'll see the chessboard. The chessboard is really interesting. It's a really special chessboard depicting different elements that you'll find here in Africa, different tribal elements. But it also is a place to really sit down, and if you're really having a challenge with a situation, you can really sit at the chessboard and try your hand at resolving some of your challenges, because chess is a game of strategy. It's thinking ahead. What do I want to do? Where do I want to go? What's my next move? So it really gets you thinking. The other pieces here are very special. So we have this piece in this corner here, which is family. This came from a Zimbabwe artist. This beautiful carved piece of stone, the solidness of family, the beauty of family. So again, a lot of areas of the Haven will bring out and just quietly remind you of why you're here. Family first, okay? One of my favorite pieces is this elephant mask here. You look at it, and I remind families all the time, when you come to the Haven, take off your mask. Take off your facade. Be your authentic self. Hang your mask up. And this reminds us to hang up our ego. Put our ego away. Be authentic. I love it with the big ears. A reminder of listen first. Listen first. So seek first to hear others. We call this the cozy dining room. We use it also when we're having a cozy conversation. It's very warm, inviting. We have our wonderful elders once again, always listening, reminding us that they are here in spirit, watching over us. We reflect the birds. I think the birds are wonderful pieces. A reminder here of nature and the vibrancy of nature. We call this the big conference room, also our virtual space where we can zoom in. Families have joined us from all over the world as we have conversations. This is a really special table. It was designed in a way that there is no head of the table if you look at it. So there is no place that you sit where you're more important than anybody else. It actually has no head of the table. We can fit up to 12 people around this table. And we also, it's inlaid, if you look, with these kind of 3 leaves emanating from the center that's done in white birch. Okay, and this represents the 3-circle model of how we focus on our family work, the significant Tagore Davis 3-circle model, where we look at ownership, we look at management of our assets, and we look at family. So it reminds us that all 3 have to come together in harmony and in balance and in alignment. Again, this is the same Zimbabwe artist that did our family sculpture, our mother, father, child sculpture. But it reminds us we're here to help one another. Our helping hands, we're here to work together to help one another in our time together. I love this piece. This is a photography piece by the famous UK photographers Carol Beckwith and Angela Fisher. They have been capturing African tribal traditions for over 50 years. This is a piece called the Maasai Initiate with Bird Headdress in Kenya. And this is actually the bird headdress, if you look at it. What it reminds us is the transition from one generation to the other. Very contemplative young man, thinking about the journey ahead, thinking about their evolution into manhood. So a lot of beauty here that reminds us that the work we're doing is not for this generation, it's for the future generations. And how are we focused on them? How are we going to help them grow through helping hands, through special ways to initiate them, bring them forward, empower them, and make them become the next part of our legacy. This is the heart of the home. So this is the kitchen, and the kitchen again overlooks into our big conference room. And why is the kitchen important? It seems that food and coming together over food is a way that families talk, visit, share thoughts and ideas. So usually this kitchen area, when we have families in, is bustling with foods, all kinds of delicacies. We tend to cater to what the dietary needs are, cultural needs are of our families. We have a full working kitchen with a wonderful chef and all the amenities to support our families. This piece also is really interesting, this clock. We chose this clock because you can see the inside workings of the clock. You can watch it move and tick away. And one of the beautiful things, it reminds us that time is a very valuable resource. This is our small, intimate conference room. Again, totally equipped with sophisticated video technology so we can bring in family members from other parts of the world. But when we just have a few people and we want to have a quiet, more intimate conversation, this is where we come. Again, mask is very important. So you can see we ask you to take off your mask because we want you to be true. We want you to be true to yourself. And this mask reminds us not to hide behind our mask. Again, you'll notice interesting features. We've got our family of rhinos here with our baby, realizing that, again, family together. I love our ants. We have our 3 little ants here. And ants are interesting because they work together, right? When you look at the power of such a tiny, tiny little thing, together they can move mountains. So when you think about when we work in this small, intimate space, there is power that comes from a small cluster, and it reminds us of that. This is Dr. Tom's office. One of the things I'm really proud about is to be married to a wonderful physician, researcher, academician, and Dr. Tom's space is where he can do one-on-one concierge consults with various family members, whether you're challenged with a physical situation, with an emotional situation, a mental challenge area, you can come here, have a conversation with him, and based on his knowledge and his background, he helps guide family members to the right resources. So this is a quiet, confidential, one-on-one space that you can spend time with Dr. Tom. This is my private space. It's my office, and I put a safari feel to it because I just have loved my time in Kenya and being with nature, being with the animals. We have some beautiful artwork in here. You'll see the lioness. The other thing you'll notice is this collection of clocks. So it helps me stay focused in all the different time zones around the world that we work in and we deal with. So keeping track of people in different parts of the world. This is a very interesting piece here, okay, by Wane Nicholas. And what's interesting is about it, it is done on elephant dung parchment paper. And what fascinates me about it is something that you would look at and say, there's nothing possible with elephant dung, has now created this beautiful parchment paper that this incredible, serene picture has grown from. So even the things that we might look at as least likely to transform can be transformed into wonderful pieces. So you'll find me here early in the mornings where I come in and I do my meditation, thinking about the day, thinking about what's possible, listening to the birds. The sun comes up over my shoulder, which makes me focus on the wonderful day ahead. This is our serene outdoor space. As you can see, the pool gives a calming effect. Though at times I do say to some of our families, be careful if you're in conflict. One of you might land in the pool to cool off. So I do warn families about that. So hopefully we won't have your family go for a swim unless they really want to. But this is a really nice gathering space. We have a lot of families that come out here and they like to take and work out in the fresh air. It's just nice and fresh out here. Enjoy the calming effects of the pool. Let me introduce you to Aphrodite. This is what I named this beautiful sculpture of steel. One of the important things, it's a reminder to our rising generation and our females in family enterprises. We have another great little outdoor nesting space here. Wonderful space for a conversation, nicely protected. So again, getting fresh air, getting a different perspective. I think the important thing about the Haven is it's quiet and you can get a different perspective. And that's the important thing. If you're really stuck, change your room space, change your view, see something different, go for a walk around the grounds, and then come back and see what's changed in you. So those are very important things that we look forward to when we have you here at the Haven. So enjoy beautiful time on the grounds, having a lovely sundowner. We have our great fire pit where you can sit and visit. Enjoy relaxing conversations at the end of a very busy retreat day.